This is the first official stream from the West End Girl page. I did an earlier stream this week from my personal page, putting the word out about it, and now here, this is it. This is the first live stream from actual West End Girl page, so it's pretty exciting. This first part of the video is what I'm calling the pre-drinks video. There's my great little picture right there. Pre-drinks is the time when I've just launched the video and we're hanging out and it's potentially a little bit awkward while we're waiting for people to join. But you know, it's like when you get to a show early and you're just having some drinks, hanging out, and so that's what this little start bit here is about. I'd also like to thank everybody who shared, for liking West End Girl and for sharing the page. Since my first video, which was Tuesday night, the page has got 49 likes, which is fantastic. Can't wait to hit the big 50, so keep putting it out there, keep sharing. What I'm going to be doing is talking about the true crime stories of Chicago this evening, and it's going to be a little bit of a pop quiz, so I'm going to ask you some questions about it and give you the chance to answer, because as a Facebook Live, we're here together, we can chat about it. As a little bit of an example about the sort of thing that we're going to be talking about, since the setting is Chicago, have been in the news recently because of the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series this week, and they actually broke a drought of many years of not winning the World Series. And so to give an idea of the sort of quiz that I'm going to be doing, I thought during pre-drinks while we're hanging out here, I would say that if you were to guess, well, maybe you know, how many years since the Chicago Cubs last won the World Series? Was it A, 103 years, 2, 108 years, or C, 114 years? I went A, 2, 3, then A, B, C. Does anybody know? 108 years since the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. Yeah, that's right, Mike, you got it. Thank you. 2 and C, you're correct for both. Been having our pre-drinks together, and now I can get started with Curtain Up, which I drew this another little picture like that, which kind of looks like a square pie, but it's my Curtain Up sticky note. That means that I can turn off the pre-drinks music, and to get ready for our main segment of chat tonight. Hey Josh, glad that you could join us. You just missed the pre-drinks. We were just having pre-drinks right here, having a little chat while we're waiting for people to join us. So now it is time for the main event, and it's true crime. So of course I had to like set up a little bit to get the mood going for our true crime segments. Hey Kat, thanks for coming. You're here just in time for true crime.
Justice system. The people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Yes, okay, so we're moving into our section of true crime. So we are in black and white and getting ready to go. So what I'm going to be doing during this section, we're going to be talking about some of the true crime of Chicago, and I'm going to ask you some questions along the way. Yes. So yeah, the war was excellent. The war was over. It was the Roaring Twenties, and it was a time where life was pretty good, and they had music, radio, celebrity, fashion. But my first question for you is, from 1920, January in the US, which statement is true? What was illegal in the United States? Was it A, selling liquor, B, making liquor, C, buying liquor, or D, all of the above? Making, selling, buying, or all of it? What do you think? The answer is D, all of the above. It was illegal to it was illegal to make, buy, or sell liquor, but people still did it. It was very much something that people still bootlegged and did it, and it was often sort of undercover, organized crime, the mafia, that sort of thing. So although it was illegal, people were still drinking. And during this time, there wasn't TV, so your source of entertainment was the newspapers, and crimes were a great source of entertainment for people with the papers. So crimes were sensationalized, and people became obsessed with homicides, especially ones that were committed by women. There were high-profile cases that involved women mainly killing their lovers or their husbands, and the people just loved it. And the trial lawyers and their clients were earning fame because of all the publicity that they would get in the papers. And we see it still happening here today with athletes or actors gaining, or people in the public eye gaining notoriety because of their bad behaviors often. And it continues on, with social media, reality TV. So yeah, people just love that sort of thing, really. Maureen Dallas Watkins is the name of somebody who wrote. She's the woman who wrote Chicago, the play, which the musical is based on. And she was actually a journalist during that time. She was hired by the Chicago paper to bring in a feminine perspective to the court trials. And there is a female reporter in the musical of Chicago, which some say that she is based on. Do you know the name of this person? The name of the female reporter. Oh, I needed to put my detective music on now, since we're in Chicago talking about this kind of thing. They called female reporters often sob sisters because they would get on the side of the woman, and it was all just so horrible, and all the men were treating her unfairly. But some say that Watkins was actually pretty scathing, and she hated that this was a big media circus for these women. So things on top, but it's Mary Sunshine. Mary Sunshine is the female reporter in there. And so she reported on the murders of the women that were to later become Roxie Hart and Velma Kelly. And so Roxie's story, okay, so her real name was Beulah Annan, and I'm going to show you her picture. Can you see that? And she was considered she was just revered to be the most beautiful woman, the most beautiful criminal at the time. So she was very popular with the men, Miss Beulah. And she was a glamorous Chicago flapper, and she killed her lover. She was an unfaithful wife, and she shot her, she shot her lover. And the husband was a mechanic, just like Amos in Chicago, and just like the Roxie that we know. She was in an affair, and he said that he was leaving her, and she got angry and she shot him. So, what is the first thing that Miss Beulah did after firing the gun? So she shoots the gun, she shoots her lover in a rage, and then did she either A, go to the bathroom, B, listen to a record, or C, phone her husband? The correct answer is B, listening to a record. What she did after shooting Harry, she sat there and she played a record on her phonograph, the same record over and over for 2 hours, and sat there and watched him die in a pool of blood and got drunk while she was doing it. Yeah, pretty harsh of her. He'd made that photo mistake of telling her that he was going to leave her. Bang, sit and watch you die and get drunk while I'm waiting. And after about 2 hours, she phoned her husband, Albert, and said that she'd foiled a burglary for a guy that had broken in, and he was going to try to make love to her. And by the time the police arrived, she was She was totally drunk. Her husband went along with it. Yep, cool. But Beulah was so drunk that eventually she just opened up and confessed to the crime. So she did actually confess to it. And the paper said, woman plays jazz air while victim dies. Then dramatic. Beulah, she heads off to jail. And my next question is, true or false, that Beulah never actually crossed paths with Belva, who is the woman that Velma is based on. So the statement I'm saying is, Beulah never met Belva. True or false? The correct answer is false. That they did, because they both committed their crimes within a few weeks of each other. This newspaper article, they're both on the same page, and about Belva, who is the character Velma is based on, it says, no sweetheart worth killing. And for Beulah, who is Roxie, it says, demand noose for prettiest woman slayer. So if you can see that one there. So they were both in prison at the same time, both awaiting their trials, and they posed together for press photos as they're both loving and enjoying the the publicity. Alright, so it wasn't long after that Miss Beulah was jailed that she said that she was pregnant. That's, we know, from the musical. And so, of course, the prosecutor tried to delay the trial, but Beulah had a really press-savvy lawyer whose name was W.W. O'Brien, and he knew that his client was better off going to trial while she was expecting a baby. So this is the savvy lawyer that Billy Flynn is based on. Yep, so he was fast-talking, he was suave, he knew how to spin a story, so he said he knew that he had something to do, so he's pushing for the trial. And so then there was a new headline. And I'm going to give you three and you can tell me which one you think is the real headline. Okay? So the first headline is, Beulah Annan awaits stalk murder trial. B, mother-to-be faces the noose. Or C, Beulah Annan, mother and murderer. Which one was a real headline? And the correct answer is A. It's the first one. Beulah Annan awaits stalk, murder trial. They had the trial going ahead and he needed to come up with a winning defense team. And what better way to get his client off than we both reach for the gun. You know, she had the savvy lawyer winning things over for her, and while she was in jail, she was receiving heaps of publicity. She was getting flowers, she was getting marriage proposals, she was just getting money. It was all one big media circus, and everyone knew that Beulah was guilty because she had confessed to the crime already. But people just enjoyed the spectacle of it like too much, and Beulah just like lapped it up. And this is a picture of her here with her husband and with her lawyer, and she's just loving all this attention, and she was so beautiful, and those eyes, those very puppy dog eyes that the people just loved. They called her the man-taming eyes. That's what they described her as having. For Beulah's trial, she's this beautiful woman, they all love her, and the lawyer is able to handpick his jury, and they were all young, and they were all good looking, and they were all male, and 4 of them were bachelors. So, you know, we're setting ourselves up for a nice little trial here to get Beulah acquitted. I'm going to finish up here and continue on with this story for next time as I move into the stage door part of the talk, of the stream, sorry. Stage door is where you sort of wrap up on the current of the main story and you're getting ready for setting up for the next one, and in which I'll continue talking about these stories. It's also an opportunity for you to give any feedback, any suggestions, make any comments before I finish up for today. So we will continue on with the true stories of Chicago next time. And thank you to those people who came in and joined my stream this evening. I'm really grateful and happy to have you here. So thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.